Happy Tuesday, friends, and welcome to Beneath the Surface. I am here with my friend, colleague, and client, Miss Roxanne Ribakoff, the president of One Daytona. How are you, ma'am?
I am good. How are you?
Good. I'm so happy to have you here. I appreciate any time I can get you face to face. So I appreciate the time you've taken. We had dinner recently, or appetizers and a drink recently, and now we get to sit down and hopefully we have some more stuff scheduled to get to share one-on-one. So I just appreciate you. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you for inviting me. This is fun.
Awesome. Well, Miss Roxanne has the large responsibility of managing the One Daytona property. And for those of you that are not familiar with One Daytona, it is 3,000 square foot property in front of the Daytona International Speedway with, did you say 95,000 square feet of shops and restaurants?
Yes. And the One Daytona, it's 300,000. So
300. What did I say?
Yeah. 3,000. It's fine.
300,000.
It's a little different. Yes.
Big difference.
Yeah.
And it's a beautiful property.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. I wish I could take credit for designing it. I did not. I inherited the property, which I'm very proud of this property, but we had an amazing design team and a group of colleagues here that worked for ISC at the time that headed up the project. And it's been such a blessing to take this on. This is my first new development project. So I've always worked at properties that were much older, showed their age, they're ladies. You don't like to ask their age, but maybe they were 40. And so this was new for me, but it was really exciting. So
Roxanne, well, tell us a little bit about you. How did you how did you end up here in Daytona? I know this is not originally, but tell us a little bit about yourself.
So that's a very long story that I will shorten. So I started my career at Publix supermarkets. I started working in high school at the print shop. So I would go after school and I'd work during the summer, and I was their little file clerk. And for a moment, I did some reception duties. And when I graduated, I was asked to move over to the marketing department. And I figured out very quickly, I really loved marketing. I really enjoy brand advertising and campaigns and being kind of a part of something that you can see. When you went into the grocery store, you could see the work that I did, and it was really, really cool. So I stayed there for 10 years, and then I moved over pretty much right away into mall management. Who knew that was a thing? But it is. There is a mall management office at every property. I didn't realize until I saw the job posting. And so my first mall management position was a marketing director at Oviedo Marketplace, which is now Oviedo Mall. And that's how I got into malls. And I loved it. It was fun. No 2 days are the same. They're big jobs. You usually have a little staff, a little team that does a lot of work on site, but it is fun. It also is that type of career where you get to see the fruits of your labor, right? As you walk around the property, you get to see the things that you've done, and it makes you feel very fulfilled. So that's how I got to One Daytona. Eventually I ended up here. There was a job open. We were living in Tallahassee at the time, but we have a lot of family here in Volusia County, and we wanted to move back and be back home with family. And I feel very blessed. This job came open at the right time, and I interviewed for it, and they hired me very quickly. I was hired in as the general manager, and then after a little over a year, I was promoted to president of the business unit.
That's so exciting.
Yeah.
I love it. So tell me a little bit about the property.
The property is actually made up of several properties that roll up into one campus that we call the One Daytona campus. So the one everybody is very familiar with is the One Daytona side. That's our new side. So we are still, building on that. We've got some fun things to come. That's also the side where we have our anchors, Bass Pro Shop, Bob Luxury Movie Theater, opening soon. Hopefully I'll have a date for you guys to be able to share publicly, but opening soon. And then Game Time. So that's kind kind of like our version of a Dave and Buster's, but geared towards a little bit younger, so more family-ish. And so it's a very exciting property. We've got lots of restaurants, really great restaurants like Four Rivers, Rock Bottom, Pip Chang's, so like fun places to come and hang out. And then, of course, pre-pandemic, we did a lot of really, really cool events here. That's something that's just a big part of our core business is entertainment. And, we want to be an entertainment district here. So it's something that we've always been really proud of, hosting some really great quality events here in Volusia County. And outside of One Daytona, then we have shops at One Daytona. So they're connected. And that's very service heavy. We have eyeglass place, we have hearing aid center, but then we also have really cool restaurants like First Watch, and we've got Gold's Gem there, Dahlia Mexican Kitchen. So that's also becoming like a really fun kind of hangout place to go.
Yeah, and it's so, it's definitely top of the line. I mean, it is spectacular just to walk around. I like walking around there anyways. It's just clean. It's clean. All the food is good. Anytime I've been there for an event, it's always been handled very well. What's the vision? What do you see the vision for One Daytona? How long has it been here? So officially from development, when did it develop? When did they start break ground? And then when did it actually open officially?
So our first tenant opened at the very end of 2016. That was Cobb Luxury Movie Theater. Mm-hmm. We weren't considered grand open at that point because the other buildings were not created at that point. So fast forward to fourth quarter of 2018, and that's when all the building construction was complete. Over 50% of our center was open. And so we really consider that kind of our grand opening period. That's when we started our Fun Wonderland festivities. That was kind of a way for us to grand open and welcome the community into our home, Yeah. So that's what we were doing. But the vision for the center really is a community epicenter, so a place people can go, and to your point, somewhere that they can walk around and they feel safe and they feel like it's clean, and they can go and get a great dinner. They can go and hope very soon see a movie. But more than that, it's a place also that we've designed where you can live, work, play, stay. So those were really, really important for us. We've created this kind of little One Daytona community here on site. So we have our joint venture partners, and so we're partners in the hotels. We've got the Fairfield, which is probably one of the most beautiful Fairfields you will ever stay at. It's super, super nice. I stay there still. And then the Daytona, which is an Autograph by Marriott. So that nice upscale version of the Marriott collection. So that's really cool. And then our residents started moving in last year, which was great to see. We were so excited. That project had been in the works for some time. And once they started moving, they actually moved very quickly. So we started moving people in, I think November of 2019 is when we first had residents come in. So that was just so exciting. We've got well over 100 of our units occupied now. And our second phase, which is our mid-rise, they're set to open at the end of this month, actually, September. And those are the units that are right next to Fairfield. So,
are those residential or are those commercial?
They're all residential.
All residential.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Very cool. So if you haven't driven by the property, definitely drive by the property. I can't imagine anyone in Volusia County hasn't, but let's assume that there's some people that haven't visited.
Sure.
How do they get to your facility? It is right in front of the Daytona International Speedway. What's the address?
It is. So the address is 1 Daytona Boulevard, Daytona Beach, Florida, 32114. And what's really nice is we're positioned quite nicely at the intersection of I-4 and I-95. You just get off onto International Speedway Boulevard, head down east, and then you run right into us. If you see the Speedway, you'll see us.
Yeah. I just like getting stuck at that light because I look to the left and I look to the right, and it's just so pretty. And the colors are so nice, and they've got this beautiful sign up front. I'm a sign girl, so I love that sign.
Yeah.
Is there a meaning behind that sign? That I'm missing the one with the pillars all up?
Yeah. So I asked about the sign because it was here before I got here. And I'm also a sign girl, Carmen. I really, going back to my marketing days, and I was helping design one at Governor Square before I left. So when I got here, I was like, this is a really cool pylon sign. So they were trying to bring kind of a little bit of that NASCAR feel and that speed into the signage. So you'll notice that there's subtle nods to speed and racing around property, but without being in your face because we are our own entity. We have our own identity, but we definitely give nods back to NASCAR and the speedways because we wouldn't be here without that. And they, our goal is to complement what they have going on across the street, as well as serve the 365 consumers. So, yeah.
And I know during Bike Week and Biketoberfest, it's now the Welcome Center. So before we used to be on Beach Street, now One Daytona has opened its home to the CVB and to the Daytona Regional Chamber of Commerce that hosts those two events for that to be our Welcome Center. And I have to say, I really like it there. It's nice, it's clean. I feel like the bikes can get in and out of that facility really easy, and they get to visit it with just a nice place for people to visit that are coming out of town. So from that perspective, I really, really like that property for those events. It's nice, especially when you're volunteering all day. You can cross the street and grab something nice to eat versus trying to walk up and down Beach Street. I love your property, but I also love your staff. Yes. I am so very blessed that we get to work with the One Daytona staff from different levels, and everybody's just so easy to work with, super accessible, easy to ask questions. I mean, I really like your staff, just so you know that.
Me too. If I can take a moment, I should brag on them just a little bit, if you don't mind. So I do have a wonderful staff, and they work really, really, really hard. I don't think everybody knows exactly how hard they work. So I just want to take a moment. So Matt Durek, he's been recently promoted to Senior Property Operating Director. So he's like our new GM and Ops Director kind of meshed together in one role. He's done such a fabulous job working for ISC and managing the building that we all sit in and reside in, the IMC Motorsports building. So, he's been on this project since even well before I got here, and he is so deserving of the promotion. So he works very, very hard for us. So I just want to take a moment and recognize him. We have a new team member, Katrina Guevara. A lot of you probably know her around the community because she's just amazing, so friendly, so community oriented. She's just really a true gem. And so she is our new director of marketing and business development. She took that on literally right before the pandemic hit. So she's been such a trooper to, stick it out with us and kind of learn the ropes while we were going through this really strange time. And then we have a great property manager. I've worked with her for 12 years now. Marisol Gonzalez, I started with her at Oviedo Marketplace, and so we go way back, but she's just a phenomenal team member. And then Carly Pickett, she's our property assistant, and she helps me out. She's my right hand, so couldn't do anything without her. And then also our ops techs, Quentin Powers and Mike Johannesson, they're just the best operations guys ever. You need them to do anything, they'll do it. They help out at all the events. They're just so resourceful. We have such a fantastic team. So I had to take a moment.
Oh, no, definitely. We have the privilege of working with a lot of big properties here in the area. And, really, this is a great community. So the people here are just great to work with. But your staff is just, I have in my office the spirit of excellence in all that we do. That's really how we operate. And I really feel like that about your staff. The communication is very precise. They know what they need, what they want. They treat my staff with such respect, which goes a long way for me.
Yeah.
Sometimes, and that's in any kind of service industry. It doesn't always go that way. So it's really nice when our clients treat my staff. My staff comes back and says, I worked with Katrina, or I worked with Matt, or I worked with this person, and they were just great to work with. That they were so awesome, and all we were doing was measuring windows, but they made that experience pleasant for staff. So I appreciate that. I appreciate your staff very much, and of course your continued allowing us to be a visual communications company. So we love the property. We really do.
Thank you. Well, we love fast signs.
And you actually worked with a fast signs prior to working with us.
And I go way back. Yes, from my days working at Altamont Mall and the fast signs in Castleberry. So it was nice that they connected us when I got here, and they told you about me, and I found out about you. So yeah, that was a great connection.
That's awesome. That's a great staff. The Godbys are an amazing family. I've known them for a long time. So they're succeeding and doing very well at their Fast Sign Center. So I'm very pleased for them. It's always good to see good people win. I love to see people win every single day.
Me too.
And that's why I think I love you so much. We've connected, on Facebook. We've connected. I did a missions trip, and then you and I connected through email.
Yeah.
And we just, community oriented, I would say, is definitely the connection. And just your support and all the other things outside of business, which is just very nice.
Thank you. Yeah. Yeah.
I think I did that over appetizers, didn't I?
Yes, absolutely. So, I had told you this, but it's no secret because I tell everyone that I meet in the community. I have really fallen for this community. I mean, this is truly one of the best places I've ever worked in. And I've worked in a couple of markets. This is such a connected community. This is a community of many leaders that come together to make incredible things happen. They have a passion for the community. And to see that is exciting, right? And it's contagious. It makes you want to do great things. And then you meet the people, right? So when we have these events out here, oftentimes you'll see me at the welcome tent. So, when you see the welcome tent, head over. I'm most likely there. And I'm talking to people, and I'm shaking hands, and I'm meeting people. And to be able to see the different type of people that live in our community, it's beautiful. It's such a great place to work. It's such a great place to be inspired, and it makes you want to do more to make it better, right? And so I was very fortunate that the VYPG offered me a spot on the board not long after I started. And that really helped me kind of get my foot in the door with the community, started helping me build relationships. It was great for networking. And, I started going to these events, and I thought, gosh, I don't know anybody here. And everybody seems to know everybody here, right? But it wasn't long before that started happening for me. And it's because people are so warm and welcoming, right? Like if you want to come in and you want to make a difference here and you want to help out in the community, people welcome that. And I think that's great. And so it's just continued to be a very exciting opportunity for me because I like to say I have a heart of service. I love to do for others. It makes me feel good to do for others. I'm very passionate about helping people. And so I just want to keep doing more and more for the community.
That was my next question, was really, because I know you're very involved in the community. Yeah. What is your community involvement? Share a little bit about, I know you are with the Volusia Young Professionals Group. You sit on their board of directors, but you're also involved with some other stuff. Tell us a little bit about what One Daytona is involved in yourself.
So we do a lot of community stuff here. That's important to me personally, but I know that it's also very important to our company. It's a priority for our company too, to be involved, to do better in our communities, to leave our communities better than we found them. So at One Daytona, we started some really great community programs during the pandemic, and we had done some stuff prior, but we felt like it was really important to give back during a time when there were so many people that needed. So we worked with Calvary Church to do a food drive back at the beginning of May, and we gave over 32,000 pounds of food away to people that needed it. So that was really cool. We did this drive-through in the parking lot, and they had used other facilities before, but they ran out of parking space. So that's why they thought of us. And we've got that huge bus loop parking lot in the back, and we thought, absolutely, please come on property, please advertise this, and have people come here so they can get what they need. So that was a really, really neat event, especially when it was during a time we just come off the stay-at-home order, and it's like nobody had seen anybody for the longest time. And although people were in cars, it was just nice to see people. So I think everybody needed that, right? Even if you were in your car and you had to stay in your car, it was so good to get out of your homes and see people and do something good. We started doing bloodmobile drives with One Blood. Those have been so successful. They've started bringing 2 buses. They may have to bring 3 buses each time now because this has been a really great location for them. But of course, that blood goes back to help people in our community. So it's also a really great program. And then just recently, we did a backpack drive with Daytona Dream Center, and they gave away nearly 1,000 backpacks to students going back to school. That was done as a drive through as well. So that was really neat.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, we continue to do programs like that. It's we raise money for different charitable organizations. Jeep Beach is going to come out on Halloween, and we have this really fun day planned. We call it Fall for One Daytona. Very cute. But they're planning on doing a trunk or treat, and then they're going to do a $1-a-thon. And so the premise behind that is that they have over 250,000 followers on social media. So if they can get each of those people to donate just $1, then they can raise money that they lost during the pandemic to be able to help charitable organizations in our community. So it all goes back to our people here in Daytona Beach.
It is an amazing community. You and I talked about that when we had our face-to-face one-on-one. Just, and you said it today. I mean, this is just it. I think when I was commuting back and forth from Central Florida to here, and hadn't made the decision to sell, it's always nervous. You open a business in a totally different community, and now I'm going to sell my house and move there. But it was like, for me, it was last year Margarita Ball and Thanksgiving, and just seeing all of the different civic organizations and nonprofits and the things that were happening in the community. And my heart is a heart of service. So I had already sold my house and moved here. And I felt like that was like the first time I really felt peace. I was like, yeah, this is the community I'm supposed to be in, because they speak my love language, which is community service. Like, that's just, what's the point of everything else that we do if we can't pour it back into our community? So I feel the same way that you do. And I love all the stuff that you guys are doing there, Hot Rods for Heroes, and all these other events that you guys are providing in a nice, clean, safe environment, very family friendly. So it's not just restaurants. It's also, like you said, game time, theater. So you can really make a full day with a full Saturday with your family. If there's an event in the morning, you can go have lunch, you can go watch a movie, maybe go to game time, and you know that you're in a property that, is safe.
Yeah.
Safe is the word for me. I don't know why I always think that when I'm there. I'm like, it's just so safe here. Everything's so nice and so
Well, I must tell you, so working in property management, and that group that no one sees, that's behind the scenes, safe and clean, those are the top 2 things, right? So you always want to provide a place where people feel comfortable being, and then you always want to show your best self, right? And so, you wouldn't want to go somewhere that wasn't maintained or taken care of, and that wouldn't be somewhere you'd want to frequent. And so I try my best. It's hard after nearly 13, 14 years in the industry. It's sometimes hard to walk around my property with the eyes of a customer, but that's what I try to do. I try to walk around. I'll stop, I'll look. I was telling Matt Durek the other day, I said, sometimes you'll see that, my vehicle is like parked somewhere and I'm just parked there. And it's because I'm stopping and I'm like really looking, and I'm going, okay, what is the customer seeing that it could be, a turnoff, could make them feel like, this center's not being taken care of, we're not perfect. We work at it constantly, but we really care, and we try to put an extreme amount of effort into making this a first class center, to make it best in class.
Oh
For
yeah,
the county community, because we want them to have a place to go to that they feel good about.
yeah, it's definitely for me. I keep saying clean and safe, but it is the Disney experience.
Yeah.
That's the feeling I get when you walk through your property. Everything's in the right place. Everything's clean. Everything's right. Everybody, again, the experience with staff. Everybody's really nice, and it is that Disney experience that Disney Chick-fil-A experience.
Yeah. My two favorite models. Oh yeah. Just add Publix in there, and then we're good. We've got the trifecta.
There you go.
Yeah.
It's the Disney Chick-fil-A and one Daytona experience. Excuse you, Carmen.
Yes.
That's perfect. That's perfect. Outside of the community service that you do, is there something that you're passionate about yourself that you're like, this is, just something that I focus on outside of work that is, a big part of my purpose?
My family is huge. So when I have extra time, I'm spending it with family. So I have two girls, 15 and 12, and I have a husband that I've been with for 21 years. And then I have some extended family that we moved back to the area to see and be around. And so it's just been so nice to be close enough to spend so much time with them. They're they're my purpose. They're my reason for everything. And so I enjoy so much spending time with my family, especially my girls, because in a couple of years they're going to be an adult, and I can't believe it. It's like I blinked. It feels like they were just babies, and they've grown so fast. And it's going to be hard one day to send them off to college, but I'm trying to do my best to get them prepared for that, and then trying to get mom prepared for that. That's a whole nother thing. But yeah, I love spending time with them. I enjoy running. I'm not much into exercise, but in my early 30s, I was talked into running a race. And I didn't really run it as much as I walked 3.1 miles, and thought this was horrible. Why does anybody do this? And then I got to the finish line, and I just couldn't believe how great I felt, and I couldn't wait to do it again. And since then, I've run a ton of different races, including the Dopey at Disney, which is 48.6 miles over 4 days. And then I've done the Keys 100 relay with 5 other team members, so a team of 6, a couple of years in a row down in the Keys in May. It's so much fun. I really, really enjoy that. So hopefully one day they'll bring races back after the pandemic has passed. We can all get together again, but I love doing that. Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
How has COVID-19 affected One Daytona, the retail centers?
Yeah, so interesting. So I'm the type of person, I like to look at the positive in everything, and COVID has been a very tough and challenging situation for so many, personally, professionally. So I'm definitely sensitive to that. However, I have seen some really creative things happen in retail and the F&B industry. It's amazing how everyone was able to pivot so quickly. And we had some really cool things going on here. Very fast, a lot of our tenants went to curbside, especially on the F&B side. So Four Rivers and PF Chang's, as soon as they could, they went to curbside delivery, and they did very well. And then John Rivers also came up with his family meals during the pandemic. So knowing that there was a lot of families that were challenged out there that needed a good meal for an affordable price, they had these $25 meal deals where you could feed a family of up to 6 people for $25. And I thought that was really cool, very creative. He brought in some of his family recipes. So they were things they didn't even normally sell in the restaurant. I thought, how creative is that, So I feel like that's what this pandemic has done. The people that have figured out how to pivot and be flexible and be creative during this time have been the ones to succeed. And I think we'll continue to see that. But yeah, it's done strange things to the retail industry, right? Like, for example, the Apple store, it will open up and then it'll close again, and then it'll open up and it'll close again, right? And I know I have some friends that still work at Altamont Mall, and they're like, I don't know, they open and then they close, you know. So, you know, each business has to do what they're comfortable doing, right? And they've got to create plans for themselves that they feel like are best. But it's interesting to watch different retailers come up with totally different plans. It's like you don't know what everybody's going to be doing. But here, you know, I think the tenants have done really well, and I think they've tried to be very respectful of the fact that we still have government guidance going on, right, and social distancing, and we definitely don't want to spread anything. And so, you know, a lot of them, I think almost all of them, are providing things like hand sanitizer everywhere, and then there's signage, and you know, just trying to keep everybody just aware. Like, yes, we want to get back to our normal operations. It's not necessarily possible right now, but we can still get together. And if we just keep 6 feet apart, and if people wear masks, you know, then everybody's doing their part. So I think that's kind of the beauty of what's happened during this pandemic is people have worked together more. You see the resilience that each of these businesses have. You see creativity and flexibility. It's an opportunity. So
Yeah, that's a great way to look at it. And again, you know, I know that you guys are having some events. Is Daytona Cars and Coffee? Is that? Excuse me, that I don't know this. Is that the only car event that you guys have there right now? I know that I thought there was two for some reason.
Yes. So we've had a few car shows. So we're only allowing a certain amount of vehicles on site. We spread them out across multiple lots.
Okay.
So we're not cramming anybody in. We're keeping distance. Again, we're encouraging people to wear masks, even if it's outdoors, especially if you're going to have interactions that are closer than 6 feet. Everybody's been very respectful, though. We're not seeing big crowds of people. It's nice because we're outdoors. We actually have the ability to allow people to kind of stroll and be apart from one another. So it's really given people a reason to like come out on the weekend, to get out of their homes, to do something fun. So we host the East Coast Cruisers the very first Saturday of every month. They won't be this weekend, but they normally are the first Saturday of every month from 4 p.m. to 7 p.m. So we call that our One Daytona nights. And then we have the Cars and Coffee, which is new to One Daytona, and we've been really excited about it. You know, Sean and Sam and Johnny, everybody. I mean, they've been great partners. This has been just a really cool event to have. That's the last Saturday of every month from 9 to noon. And we've had a really nice showing for that. We get all kinds of cars from, you know, Maserati to Jeeps. The Jeep Beach people come out, which we love. I think Carmen and Kurt are amazing. So it's been really, really nice to have some great activity on site that people can come out at their leisure, stroll around, feel like, you know, they're in a safe environment because they're outdoors and everything's spread out. You could just, you know, chill, look at cars, go have a bite to eat. So it's been really great. So we just had our second one this past weekend, and it was really successful. So we've had a couple of car shows. Again, we keep them under a certain amount because we want to follow guidance. So yeah.
What other events? I know you know there's been some concerts out there. What can we expect for the future of One Daytona once, hopefully, right? I have like this hope that come the holidays, this will all be over. That's my goal. That's like my inner prayer.
Yeah. If you can make that happen, you'll be a very rich woman. And personally, it makes me very happy. And so many more people. Yeah. So, you know, we've come up with plans, and then as we get close to them, sometimes they have to be canceled because, of course, we don't know when the pandemic will end. We're excited to get back to the level of events that we were doing pre-pandemic, and we know we will. But it's just a matter of, watching and waiting and making sure that we do everything safely. So we have some stuff in the works. We have a really cool Halloween event that I mentioned, Fall for One Daytona with Jeep Beach. We know a lot of other places are not hosting Halloween events, and we completely understand that. And we figured out a way that we can make it a touchless experience. So we're still working towards that. And Halloween happens to be on a Saturday this year. So very fun, right? Mom, dad, they need a place to take kids. So we're hoping to be that location for the community. And then we are still moving forward with plans for our art festival. So it's our inaugural One Daytona Art Festival. And that's November 14th and 15th. So again, kind of the same idea about keeping everything spread apart, being outdoors, encouraging everyone to wear a mask, having hand sanitizer stations, which we have all around the property, and then we increase when we are going to welcome more people back. So right now we're still planning on having that, but we hope that that's going to be a lot of fun for the community and provide another venue that they can come out to, another event. And then, our Wonderland events, we're still hoping to have some pretty fabulous Wonderland events like we normally do. They may look a little different this year, but, we have to pivot too and be creative. And if we're still at the point where we can't have activities where people are touching things, which we anticipate we may not be, they'll just look a little different this year, but they will still be fun and we'll still have something to offer the community. So, because it's really important for us, I think some people are looking for that normalcy, right? They want to get back out. They want to have normal experiences like they did before. And so we feel like we want to be very connected with the community.
Yeah, when I think of you in particular, obviously, I think of women in business.
Yeah.
And to be the president of One Daytona, I think I told you this over dinner. To me, I love to see women in those kinds of positions, and I like to see women that are kind and community service oriented in those positions. Tell me a little bit about your journey, as far as like what's your lesson? I feel like every woman in business has like this life lesson, right? Of how to get there. And if you could give some advice to a young woman or young lady that's watching that says, wow, I want to be the president of One Daytona one day, or I want to be the president of a company one day, what would you say?
I have a lot of advice that I can give. I've learned a lot of lessons through my career, and I love to impart wisdom. And humbly, I'm still learning and I'm still growing. I don't claim to know everything. I constantly tell my staff, I know that there are always things that I can still learn, and there's a lot of growth that I still have to do, just like everybody else. So, when I was young in my career, I was a very excited and motivated and, hardworking type A personality. I'm told that I still am, but I think I've tempered that quite a bit. But yeah, I was very ambitious and I wanted to get from point A to point B as fast as possible. And what I didn't really understand is that it takes time. It takes time to grow into that. And that, there was a moment in time where, I thought I knew everything, and now I know I don't know everything. And that's okay, right? I have a fantastic group of people around me that all have wonderful experiences that I don't necessarily have. So we have such a great group of diverse people that we can pull things from. So I don't need to know everything. It's okay that, Matt is great with operations because that's definitely not my strong suit. So I lean on him a lot, so we lean on each other. And I think it's just really important to know that it's okay that it takes time to get there and that you're never going to know everything. And I think one of the best things that I've done in my career, whether they've known it or not, is that when I work with someone that is in a higher position and I really admire a lot of the things they do, they become my mentor. And I don't always tell them, but like I'll see someone and I'll go, gosh, wow, that particular person, they handled that situation really well. And and I learn from that, and then I craft my style, a little bit more based on that. So I'm constantly growing in my leadership style. But yeah, at 20, I didn't know everything. At 20, you're not going to know everything, but eventually you'll get there. And hard work pays off, but humility is huge. Giving back to your community is huge. Being of service to others is huge. And helping other people grow, right? Because at one point I was that 20-year-old that wanted to grow up, right? So I need to do that for the next people coming in, right? Give them an opportunity to grow into something, help show them the way, and maybe save them a little bit of embarrassment, things that maybe I did that wasn't so great when I was starting off in my career. Now, whether they listen or not is, totally up to them. But I'd like to think that I've been a mentor and I've helped a few people up in their career. And I know some people that are doing really well in their career now. And it just brings me a lot of joy to be able to do that for others.
That's awesome. We don't talk about mentorship enough, but I think it's so crucial. I'm glad that you brought it up. There's in the community that I was in prior to here, there's quite a bit of mentorship programs. Which is part of the Chamber of Commerce here, and the SBA Small Business Development Center with Tom Daly, which Tom Daly. Is here, and they provide good mentorship. And I tell people all the time, if you meet someone that you connect with that has a different skill than you, I would definitely take the opportunity just to soak it in. I mean, never stop learning, right? If the day we stop learning, we're dying. So I like that you brought up mentorship, because I think mentorship is super, super important.
Awesome. It is, absolutely. Because like I said, we've all been there. We've all been young in our career, or, we wanted to do something and you look up to somebody who's more seasoned. And those people that reach out a hand and help lift you up so that you can become that next generation. I mean, I'm always grateful to all my past mentors. So I've enjoyed that. So I feel like it's kind of, it's definitely a payback, right? So we've got that next generation coming in, and each generation, they're so savvy, all the technology advancements and everything, right? And so a lot of them are really, really smart, and they have a lot of cool things that they can bring to businesses. So helping to kind of guide them and get them in so that they're on their professional track, and they learn, this is great to do, don't do this. I think it's really good. It's good for the community because it means we're growing our next phase of leaders, right? So Absolutely. Hopefully we leave it in better hands.
Absolutely. Is there somebody in your life that just made that kind of an impact for you? I mean, I know that you say you've picked up a lot of mentors along the way, and I feel like I'm kind of the same way. Pick up a lot of mentors along the way, but was there somebody that you're just like, wow, that person just really made an impact in your life?
Yes. So my first real mentor, when I worked at Publix in the print shop, there was a lady named Valerie Douglas, and she hired me in, and she, took a chance on me, 15-year-old. I was very young. And she helped me, right? Like she would guide me in certain directions, and we'd have a lot of really deep conversations. And I remember thinking, wow, she's amazing, incredibly intelligent, very, very good with relationships. Her people loved her. She was an amazing leader. And not long after I started working for her, she became the head of the print shop for Publix, and she was the first woman to become the head of the print shop. And then that made me think even more of her, right? Because here she is, the very first woman, and I knew she was a great leader, and she was incredibly intelligent, and just a really good person with a good heart. And now she's been elevated to this great role. And so I think the world of her, and she doesn't know she was my first mentor, but but she was, and I will never forget her because she was one of the best.
That's so awesome. Well, thank you so much for sharing that, because I know not everybody likes to share all the details. So I appreciate that.
Don't worry.
If there was one lesson that you've learned during COVID-19, what would you say is your COVID-19 2020 lesson?
Probably that we as people have very little control over all the external things that are happening, but we have complete control over who we are, how we react to things, right? And so, I think it's very easy to get frustrated, right? And I have my moments just like everybody else where we're like, gosh, when is this going to end? But I think it's important to remember that, you want to keep a good positive frame of mind, right? Like set your mind right for the day and constantly work towards the things that give you purpose and the things that are making a difference. And it really changes your outlook on everything. And then you start to feel like you do have control over the situation, right? Whether you do or not, because I have very little, control over the numbers going up right now. Although I do wear my mask, so I'm doing my part, and I hand sanitize. But yeah, it's been a challenging time for so many, and I've heard all kinds of experiences and different stories from things that have happened, including people that have passed away that I've known, and that's been tough, right? But we can all decide to have a good attitude. We can all decide to treat each other with respect and grace. And we can all decide to start focusing on things that are going to move the needle, things that are going to make a difference in our communities and our businesses and our families. And those are really where we should be putting our focus right now. So
Absolutely.
That's what I've learned. Yeah.
Oh, I appreciate your time. Thank you so much again for chit-chatting with me, having this one-on-one, for being such an amazing person in our community, and again, for just leading your staff the way that you do it. Like I said, I am a big One Daytona staff fan, from the top all the way down, and
Me too.
I know you are, and I honestly I can say that because I get to work with almost every. You said all the names, and there's only two people that I haven't had a chance to be face to face with.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, you know what? Like every experience I've had with them has just been so great. So I just appreciate your leadership in your business, in your community, and I value the time that we have together. Thank you so much for the one-on-ones off the camera and the one-on-ones on the camera. And I look forward to seeing you again and working on some more stuff together.
I love it. Thank you so much for having us. And we appreciate being a part of this community. More than anybody will know, a lot of the plans that we make, a lot of the things we do it with the community in mind. I'm not the only person with a heart of service that sits on our team. So this is wonderful to be able to share with you and with others here in our community, how much we care and all the great things that we're doing and all the great things that we hope to be doing again one day. So.
And we will. And we will.
And we will.
Soon.
Yes.
Awesome. Well, thank you. Say hello to the team,
okay.
And we will see each other soon. And thanks for tuning in today, and we'll see you next week. Bye.
Bye, guys.